Good morning, or afternoon, whatever it is. Welcome, welcome. Hopefully everyone's had a fantastic day so far. I dropped the volume on that bad boy a little bit there. There we go. All right. Welcome, welcome. Looking at the overall movement for today, really the big thing that's kind of standing out here is that, well, I mean, it's fairly obvious to see. If we zoom out, it hasn't really accomplished a whole lot. We had that big jump to the upside and then just sideways, dead. Nice and slow. So after that big breakout move to the upside, tried to backfill a little bit. Really didn't accomplish a whole lot. So here it sits, kind of going sideways a little bit, looking for buyers to try to continue back to the upside. But at the same side, or at the in the same breath, sellers have an opportunity for shorts too. Video seems blurry. Says it does seem like it's having some connection issues. Let me see here. I don't know. Might have to play around with some of the settings and see if I can get it to transfer a little bit better. Yeah, might have to play around with some settings. All right, well, either way, I'll just be extra vocal about price levels. Anyway, so the overall movement that we've got going on for today has been very, very sideways. Just kind of bouncing off the lows a little bit. Seems like 12,570s. There's quite a bit of support. From the sell perspective, 12,600s, that's a thorn in a lot of people's sides right now. All right, let's see what they got here. Sellers trying to get a continuation push to the downside. From a swing perspective, swings are short on the NASDAQ with first objectives floating around the 12,570s. Big objectives a lot further down, 12,528, if it's possible to get down there. From the scalp perspective, there's not really a whole lot going on. It's still really sideways. I'll probably do a couple test streams later tonight to see if I can get the video quality better. Can't really mess with the settings a whole lot while it's actually active. Sellers still trying to hold this downside momentum. Again, from a swing perspective, makes a lot of sense to see a little bit more of a rotation back down again. It's super heavy on the top weighted side. Major averages sitting with a POC top weighted at 12,591. Huge amounts of profit taking going on here. It would be very likely to see the market want to pull back to at least 12,528.75. The big thing really is it going to make a new high first before rolling back over? Either way, swings are short. And on the S&P side of things, since everything is moving so wonderfully slow, seems like we got a little bit of a fade off of the highs, but the buyers have a nice breakout move to the upside. Now it's just a matter to see if they want to follow it through. A really heavy bear bar on this 5-minute S&P is going to look pretty sloppy. Buyers aren't going to want to see that at all. Micro triple bottom at the moment on those lows. There's a lot of bullish strength to the upside, so buyers may still want to buy, but they're likely going to want to buy in a pullback. And buying after a bar that looks like that, that's tough. That's tough. That's really, really hard to want to be a buyer after a candle that looks like that. That's a no thanks. Still a bit more sideways. NASDAQ looks like it's pretty trappy off of the highs. That huge twin reversal off the lows, though, at 73. I mean, sheesh. I still really like the NASDAQ to the downside, hence the short. All right, NASDAQ, come on, keep on rolling lower. 12,570 half is the major first objective for the NASDAQ swing shorts. After that, it's all the way down 12,528.75. That'd be a fun ride if we can get that to float all the way down there. And this is why you don't like. This is why I don't like messing around with bear bars on the top of the the S&P there. It doesn't matter how much I want to buy it. when I have a bear bar on the top like that, no thanks. All right, first objective off here from the swing side of things. So first objective off here from the swing side of things. Second target is going to be down 12,528.75 or so. Another way, if it does really want to rotate down, we could also. I wish I had more contracts. 12,567.50 is another zone of interest. Swing shorts got the target filled. Now it's just a matter of seeing if they want to keep going or not. Sellers attempting to push back down again. Very nice drive to the downside. It's just a matter of whether or not they're going to be able to follow through for that bigger push. If the market does want to go higher, I'm willing to. I'm okay adding more to it if it wants to go up. I still have a very, very much a short bias. See if the sellers can follow through with a bigger objective on the scalp side of things. Still looking pretty strong, but now the S&P is pushing down so heavy. Likely scalpers on the NASDAQ. If it can get below, normally I'd be looking to fade longs at around 69, but given how aggressively bearish this is, I would rather see this slide a bit further down first. Get down to like the 556s or so. That would be a better zone of interest to look for potential little bounces. Only 25 seconds left, though, on this candle. I don't know if they're going to make it. Back my microphone up a little bit, huh? There we go. Sellers continuing the drive to the downside, looking really nice. Great movement overall. Big bear bar to the downside on the S&P. Might be a trap on the lows. There was a lot of volume that changed hands there on that previous little move. The majority of it all at it's all at the bottom, 36.82. Yikes. Sellers trying to get a drive back down again. Come on, NASDAQ. I think I can. Keep on going. Sellers trying to get the pressure back down again. Let's see if they can keep this going. Oy, I shouldn't have done that. God, the sizing is so awful. You think I know better. Don't resize don't resize the chart. Don't do it. I did it. Dang it. There we go. All right, buyers, I mean, they're coming back in again, challenging these lows, and we're still not seeing that conviction to the downside yet. But still definitely heavy in favor, so I'll let it just keep hanging out. Try to get the drive to the downside. Still waiting for the larger target down at 528.75. Running out of time, though. definitely running out of time, so the seller's got to show up to the party sooner than later here. That rejection is just so nice looking off the top. Looks good on my end. Oh, okay. I don't know. Maybe it was just when I first started it out. I don't know. Who knows? Nice drive to the downside, but still hasn't quite made it down to what I'm looking for. Come on, sellers, go. Jeez. Hasn't made it down to a new swing low yet, so still just kind of hanging out and waiting for it to kind of finish its objective here. Downside target's still heavily 12,528.75. That's a big zone of interest. I mean, realistically, even a little bit above it, I could see at the base at around 533. There's a lot of support there just off that previous, all of those lows on the 15. Buyers are getting that pullback down into the 556.75s, but now on the NASDAQ, it's so aggressively bearish that it's more likely sellers are going to try to take it back down again. This failure up at the top is not good for buyers. Only if it breaks a new low. If it doesn't break a new low, then it's kind of game over, right? It's got to get below these 547s. That will seal the deal. A nice little bull bar here might be a problem. Nice candle gapping to the downside. How far did that go? To the tick. That's what the objective was at the bottom. Jeez. All right, well. Did have a nice bounce off those lows. If buyers put in too strong of a bull bar here, then cutting off the runner, I don't know. I really like this run to the downside. It's got a lot of potential to fall apart. Time of day is starting to become awkward, though. So now we're dealing with 352. That's not so fun. Those lines from swing highs and swing lows are the indicators from Ninja. Yeah, those are the swing high and low. It's just called the swing indicator. And if you set it to a swing strength of 1, then you'll be able to get it to plot basically on every single swing. So as long as it makes a peak, that's where it plots it. Really, really useful. Especially when the swings are super tiny. Oh man, this big wick on the bottom of the 15 minutes not making me feel too happy about it. Still has a shot, but ugh. Yeah, no problem. S&P, big bounce to the upside. A big bull bar that has a lot of wick on it will find sellers trying to press back down. If you look at where the S&P is overall location-wise, it's super, super range-bound here. I mean, this whole area is just one giant possible trap. So that's why I'm kind of babysitting this short right now, watching it on the NASDAQ to see if it wants to rotate lower, because the S&P is kind of churning higher now. Now we're seeing some other signs that maybe there's a bit of weakness down here. NASDAQ's also showing some weakness, backing up a little bit. Time of day is making it a little bit awkward. It's all good. Still has time, but I'm not going to give it a ton more. Actually, you know what I would rather see is if in a couple minutes here at probably 358 it gets a pop back up towards this break-even point, and then sellers just slam it back down again. That might be a really nice area to look to turn back lower, is a retest of 90 quarter. All right, candle gap is filling in a little bit and seeing even more continuation to the upside in the final 10 seconds or so of the bar. That's a heavy bull bar on the S&P back to the upside. I don't necessarily know that shorts are going to mess with that. And that bull bar back up on the NASDAQ, it's got a chance of becoming a V bottom here. And knowing that it might want to snap back up to 90 quarter, I'm going to jump ship on the trade for now and then see if I can find a re-entry on maybe more of a scalping time frame for the swing perspective. I'm just not ready to let that trade go all the way back up. Nice strong bull bar back to the upside. Again, the zone of interest is just a retest back into the 90 quarters to see it kind of reject back off. Nice strong bull bar up. They're starting to get that pop to the upside. Let's see if they can rotate higher here. See if they can get that little pop and a rejection off of that zone. Starting to climb up there. We're getting close. Hasn't quite made it yet. We got 1 minute until 58, and then things go crazy. 58, things are always that's when the fun happens. Watch this area up here and see if they want to hit this with any kind of volume. I want to see it pop higher. I don't want to see it just casually stroll on into it. I want to see it jump. So it's a fadeable opportunity. It's just kind of grinding. 10 seconds till 58. If it's going to pop, that's when it's going to do it. Now, if it gets a quick little back flush, it might be a buyable opportunity at 75 as well. Buyers trying to get that strong leg back higher. All right, we're in the zone, but it's not. We're not getting that pop. I need it to jump. Come on, NASDAQ. Maybe he wants to wash out instead. One way or another, I need it to pop out of this middle. Lots and lots of volume building at the 87.75s. Still not popping. got to blow the lid off. Whoa, look at the volume stacking up in the highs, though. Get a little bit of a jump. Perfect timing, 1 minute. Come on. Now we're starting to get a little bit of a jump. Give me a jump back to like 12,600s. That's a big zone of resistance up here. It's not blowing the lid off. See how it just keeps kind of casually strolling back up into the highs? It's not getting that breakout. Whoa. Look at that volume that just stacked up. Lordy, lordy. I'm going to look for a potential short for that to back off that move. And if it's going to break out higher, the breakout move to the upside could be relatively extreme. So a reversal back higher wouldn't necessarily hurt my feelings. It just seems like this is extraordinarily overdone to the upside. You've got that last little bit. I want to see it jerk back down to like the 90s. There we go. Nice little flush back down in the final few seconds. Beautiful move. Just a rejection off a high volume node at the end of the day. People taking profit at the end of the day. No surprise. Nice quick little push. All right. Well, that's going to do it. Another really good day. I mean, all things considered, we'd had some pretty good volatility. Some pretty good movement overall. Not going to complain. Hopefully you all had a fantastic day as well. But yeah, that'll do. Hopefully you all have a fantastic day. Enjoy. Rest up. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email, jhb@ssftg.com. Have a good one. Bye.